Hello, Booktube. This is Alan. Welcome to my channel. This video is going to be a review of Train to Pakistan by Khushwant Singh. The black and white photograph right here is actually one of Margaret Bork White's photographs, the famous photographer. Uh, I finished this book. It was very short. It's only 180 pages. And Khushwant Singh, the author, passed away in 2014 at the age of 90, and he is a prolific author. There's about 30 novels and or more. And he's written books about basically about his own country of India. Written one about the sheiks, one about India itself, type of fiction. So this one, let me give you a little background on this book. Excuse me. 3rd of June, 1947. Lord Mountbatten is in charge of the partition of India. And the plans for the partition of India, one is to create a new state called Pakistan, and the other one is to just create India itself without British rule. He was asked a question, and the question is to see a mass transfer of the population. Excuse me. Do you see a mass transfer of the population? What he meant by that question is the fact that Hindus and Muslims lived side by side peacefully for generations. And so this partition and creation of a new state of Pakistan, that was the question. Do you see a mass transfer of the population? And Lord Mountbatten said, personally, I don't see it. Well, personally, he was wrong. Because 22 million people left India and went to Pakistan. A lot of those Muslims are put into refugee camps by the Hindus, by people who probably have no idea what they were doing, and they were just told to do it, put them in Muslim refugee camps. It started civil wars between the two, between Muslims and Hindus based on their religion. It started massacring of the people. Gangs would rise up, Muslim gangs would rise up and kill Hindus. And throughout the countryside, that's what was going on. And they have no idea. And I looked on, you could look on Google and see how many people died during this time. The estimates are between 200 to 2 million. They don't know. Excuse me, let me get a drink here. And so, excuse me, the author, Khushwant Singh, takes that partition and puts it into a story. And the story is about a sleepy town, name of sleepy little village, excuse me. It's called Mano Maras. Majra. It's Majra, Majra. And things go on peacefully, normally. Hindu children play with Muslim children. You hear the cry of the Muslim to prayer, and you hear the Hindus go about their prayers. The train runs on a normal schedule. And this is far away from what is going on in the rest of the country. But then, slowly, as the book progresses, you see things start to fall apart. And Khushwant Singh is good at this, as he just adds a little bit here and there, like the train stops running on time. The goods trains, they wonder what's going on, what's happening with the good trains carrying the goods, food, provisions, things of this nature. And the people in the village wondering what's going on. And they kind of just, and then one time a train arrives and it's carrying 1,000 dead corpses inside the train, which is pretty packed. And everybody stops what they're doing. The cows don't get milked, the buffaloes don't get milked, the services, religious services don't go about. And then he creates three characters. Excuse me, he creates three characters. One character is by the name of Hakum Chad, who's a magistrate. He's one of the wrong men. He's corrupt, but he's morally good. And he lays with a 16-year-old, 16-year-old girl. And a 16-year-old who he has gotten from the streets because her parents and the entire family were wiped out. There's another gentleman by the name of Jaga, Jaggga. He's a radical. He's a Muslim, and he preaches against high morals. And he is in love with a Hindu woman by the name of Noran. Now, everybody in the villages knows these people. And they say, oh, it's okay that a Muslim's going with a Hindu. But this is 1947. This is when Muslims are getting put into refugee camps. This is because of their religion. This is when the people were getting killed because of the religion and what they look like. And there's another gentleman by the name of Iqbal. It's Iqbel. Iqbal, who's a political activist, and he's a sheik, a Hindu sheik. But the thing is, he doesn't look like a sheik. The sheiks wear long beards, and he doesn't wear a long beard. And he's from India, but he went to England and came back to India. And the police accuse him of being one of these Muslim gangs that are terrorizing the other Hindus. And so they throw him in jail because he doesn't look like a sheik, even though he says he is. And there's questions about whether or not, did you see if he's circumcised or uncircumcised or not, that you check. And so he was thrown into jail. The events are the story goes kind of slow, but the author, like I said, just adds a little here, a little there. The monsoons come, and he says that when the monsoons first come, that everything shuts down, schools, businesses close down. But the monsoons don't only bring the rain, but they also bring dead corpses. And so they have to dig more graves and more corpses for the body. Yeah. Noran, the Hindu girl who's in love with Jaga, is told by Jaga's mother that you have to leave, you have to go. It's not safe for you anymore. You have to go to the refugee camp and go to Pakistan. It's not safe. And she doesn't want to go, but she has to. And said that Jaga will come and find you. During one incident about almost 3/4 into the book, the Hindus in the village go to the temple and they have a prayer group. And they are have the prayers, and then they have a special announcement. Someone comes in and says to them, "We need to fight. We need, we kill. They kill 2 Hindus. We need to kill 4 Muslims. They send a train over here with dead bodies on it. We need to send 2 back with dead bodies on it. And we need to, it's kind of like an eye for an eye, just like, but increases it. So we're going to have people stand on guard on the bridge and make sure no Muslim comes through here. And we have to kill them all and kill every single Muslim." Excuse me. And one person stands up and says, and I couldn't find the correct quote in here, but he basically says, "What kind of bravery is it to kill innocent people? What do you call that? It's not brave to kill innocent people." So the author is basically criticizing everything that's going on in the village. He criticizes the activities, the moral codes, the religious beliefs, their corrupt practices, and the hypocrisy of the people. Because the people are being swept up into this killing Muslims because they are Muslims, because they practice a different religion than us, because they look different. We should kill them anyway. And before, they didn't act that way. And that's what the author is getting at. Towards the end of the book, the author states this: "If you really believe the things that are so rotten that your first duty is to destroy, to righteously clean, then you should not turn green at the small acts of destruction. Your duty is to connive with those who make the conflagration, not to turn a moral hosepipe on them, to create such a mighty chaos that all that is rotten, like selfishness, intolerance, greed, falsehood, sympathy, is drowned in blood if necessary. India is constipated with a lot of humbug. Take religion. For the Hindu, it means little besides caste and cow protection. For the Muslims, circumcision and kosher meat. For the Sikh, long hair and hatred of the Muslims. For the Christians, Hinduism with a solo toupee. For the Parsee, fire worship and feeding vultures. Ethics, which should be the kernel of the religious code, has been carefully removed. Take philosophy, about which there is so much hoo-ha. It is just muddle-headedness, masquerading as mysticism. And yoga, particularly yoga, that excellent earner of dollars, standing on your head, sit cross-legged, and tickle your navel with your nose. Have perfect control over the senses. Make women come till they cry enough, and you can say next please without opening your eyes. And all that mumbo-jumbo reincarnation. Man into ox, into ape, into beetle, into 8,400,000 kinds of animate things. Proof? We do not go in for such pedestrian pastimes as proof. This is Western. We are the mysterious East. No proof, just faith. No reason, just faith. Thought, which should be sine qua non of the philosophical code, is dispensed with. We climb to sublime heights on wings of fancy. We do the rope tricks and all spheres of creative light. As long as the world prodigiously believes in our capacity to make a rope rise skyward and a little boy climb it till he's out of view, so long will our brand of humbug thrive. And he goes on like that, just criticizing what is happening with the moral code, what is going on with religion, and why innocent people are being slaughtered. Wrong triumphs over right as much as right over wrong. Sometimes its triumphs are greater. What happens ultimately, you do not know. In such circumstances, what can you do but cultivate an utter indifference to all values? Nothing matters. Nothing, whatever. He who made the night and day, the days of the week and the seasons, he who made the breezes blow, the waters run, the fires in lower regions, made the earth the temple of the law, who made creatures of diverse kinds, with a multitude of names, made this the law. By thought and deed be judged forsooth, for God is truth and dispenses truth. There the elect is corridor, and God himself their actions honors. They are sordid deeds that were done and bore fruit, for those that to action could never ripen. This, O Nanak, shall hereafter happen. So that's it. That's my review of Train to Pakistan by Khushwant Singh. And take care.